I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to be taking a detailed look at the stainless steel memo bottle, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. This memo bottle is a newest take on their original design. So this here is made with a food grade 304 stainless steel. Just all around here, it has a very stainless steel sound to it. And then the outside here is a powder coat finish. So this gives it like a really sleek matte look, which I think is really cool. The biggest benefit you have with this particular water bottle is definitely aesthetics. So on the side here, we have memo bottle for some branding, and then A6 here, which is the indicator of the size. So with this bottle here, it is dishwasher, boiling water, and freezer safe. So this can hold water up to 100 degrees Celsius, which is boiling point for water. So you can technically put different temperatures in here. One thing to keep in mind though is that this is not insulated. And so when you put cold water in here, you can feel the metal get really, really cold. And so same thing with the hot water. Hot water in here, you can feel the metal get really hot. And so because there's no insulation, for one, it's not going to, hold on to that temperature for as long as it would with like a traditional water bottle, but then also you are going to be able to feel that. So that's something to keep in mind. I found that this was really best for like lukewarm water. Just because it was just easier to grab. It wasn't a super comfortable holding environment, I guess, if it was like too hot or too cold. So that is something to keep in mind depending on your preferences for water and things like that. You can also put like coffee or tea or something like that in here. Kind of stay away from carbonated beverages, generally speaking. Anything with like a really tight sealed lid, it's not super great for that. But with this lid here, it opens very smooth. Inside there is a little gusset that did pop out for me at one point, and then all I had to do was like screw this on really tight and it kind of locked it back into place. But it is a pretty deep cap, and so if you wanted to like take that gusset out and clean it, it might get a little bit difficult. But with the threading on the inside of the lip here, it gives it like a smoother, you put your mouth against this so it's smoother without having that threading on the outside. So it is a pretty comfortable thing to drink out of, but this mouthpiece is pretty small. So when you are filling it up, you really have to like get it in line perfectly. And so it's not as easy as like a wider mouth water bottle where you can just kind of like throw it under the sink. You have to be a little bit more intentional about it. And then drinking out of it too takes a little bit of getting used to. The main thing with this is that it does just kind of look like a flask. There's really no getting around that. So it's something that, might be a little bit of a barrier for you just in terms of like a style or something like that. You might like it, you might not. But in general, functionality wise, it works really well. It's pretty easy to clean. You can get these little tablets that you drop in there, leave them in there for 20 minutes. Doesn't leave any sort of like a taste residue or anything like that. I just rinsed it out a couple of times after after the tablet was done dissolving, and it was back to tasting like normal. Or you can use like vinegar or just, kind of wash it like normal. But the biggest barrier here is that you can't see on the inside of this, and so when you're filling it up, you just kind of got to guess where it's at. So it does take a little bit of a learning curve, but with the unique design, it might fit your needs if you're not a huge water drinker and you just like to have something on hand for when you get thirsty. Like I mentioned, this design takes a little bit getting used to, but its functionality, depending on your water carrying habits, could be really, really great. So this is shaped like an A6 piece of paper, hence the A6 here. The other sizes also indicate what size piece of paper it's kind of mimicking, which means that because of the size paper, a lot of these admin pockets on backpacks, this is the Air Travel Pack 3, these admin pockets are designed to fit pieces of paper, notebooks, that sort of thing. And so if you have this water bottle here, it fits really nicely in a slip pocket in an admin pocket. So this is really, really great if you are someone who you either don't have a backpack with a water bottle pocket, or you just don't really want to carry that much water around with you on a daily basis. It kind of depends on your habits, but water bottles that are more traditionally circular or cylindrical, I guess, are going to be a little bit harder to fit into bags like this. It can bulk out the bag or something like that. So it does have a really unique use case, I think. It might not be for everybody, and that flask look can be a little bit to get past. But this functionality is really, really great if you want to just bring a little bit of water along with you, but you don't really have a super great place to put it in your backpack. So I have two different bottles here to compare with the stainless steel. So first off, we have this Hydro Flask, which is a more traditional water bottle that you're used to seeing. This is really great. It is insulated against the temperature inside, so you can't feel hot or cold water, whereas this memo bottle you can. This is great if you have it in just like a regular backpack water bottle pocket. The memo bottle won't necessarily fit in that sort of a pocket, and so this is great if you want to put it in admin sleeve, whereas this one can bulk that out a little bit. So kind of the more obvious differences between these two here, just sort of depends on what you're looking for. So the main one that I want to look at here is the difference between these two different memo bottles. So this is the original, it's the PET plastic. It's super, super lightweight. If you get the stainless steel one, you're definitely doing this for more of like an aesthetic thing, just because it doesn't add any insulation or anything like that. This one's not insulated either. And so, it has a much sleeker look to it. You can't see, you can see some like water stains and things like that on the inside of this bottle here. So in terms of aesthetics, this is definitely like a cleaner look. You can also get this silicone sleeve. It fits on both of these. I can show you, I'm not gonna put it on because it's a little bit tough to get off, but it does slide in there technically. So you could theoretically still get this, and it's not, it's more designed for this one here, but it would protect your hands if you're like have hot or cold water in there. So that is definitely an option. But what's really nice about this clear one is that you can see how much liquid is inside. So like I mentioned, it's a little bit harder to fill this one up because you're kind of just guessing where it's at, whereas this one here, you can actually see how full it is, when it needs to be refilled. This one's a little bit harder to gauge. So it just kind of depends on your needs and your aesthetic and kind of what you're looking for. But if you want something with like a little bit sleeker look, in my opinion, this is definitely the better option for you. So there you have it, the stainless steel memo bottle. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.